Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Lance. This is the seventh and last video on the 7 deadly sins. We talked about them all. We talked about greed. We talked about envy. We talked about wrath. We talked about lust. We talked about sloth. We talked about pride. Today we're going to talk about gluttony. Ezekiel 16:49 speaks about gluttony. It also tells us why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It says here, Sodom's sins were pride, gluttony, and laziness, while the poor and needy suffered outside her door. She was so proud and committed detestable sins, so I wiped out her as you have seen. What saddens me about America is that a lot of people are selfish, greedy, and they only think about me, myself, and I. I look at all these billionaires and millionaires with all this money, yet they don't want to help people. If I was a millionaire or billionaire, I would at least help someone financially. I can't help everyone financially because I don't have the means to do that. But I do acknowledge people. I do give people a conversation. If I have a little change, I would give my last just to help somebody. That's just the type of person I am. But yet, you got all these millionaires and billionaires that don't want to help people with their money. They think they can take their money to the grave with them. And that was the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah. The world, we're seeing a repeat of Sodom and Gomorrah. People not helping one another. Yet when it's their time to go to heaven, they expect God to give them a ticket to heaven or paradise. Yet on earth, they treated their brothers with contempt. Everyone who says, Lord, Lord, will not get to heaven. You are what you think, and, that's why the Bible says harder for a rich man to get to heaven than a camel to go through the needle of an eye. I mean, that's a true statement. I pray that we learn to be more open, because I believe this virus is a sign that we need to think about others and not just about ourselves. Every disease that nature throws at us, every disease that we come in contact with, is God's message to the world that we need to be more compassionate. We didn't learn compassion until the Holocaust took place between 1933 and 1945. So, if it wasn't for that, we still wouldn't have compassion. We didn't learn compassion until people started dying from this virus, and then everyone came to the realization that we are all one paycheck away from being homeless. Yet, it only sparks up crime, intensifies crime. We come to think that before the pandemic, crime wasn't as high, but that's not true. Crime has always been around. It's just being broadcast more.